right, good afternoon. I'd like to call this special meeting of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees to order this Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. Cheryl, could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Ash.
Here.
Trustee Criswell. Trustee Criswell. Trustee Gilstrap.
Here.
Trustee Hoskins Sutton.
Here.
Chair Isnard.
Here.
Vice Chair Ricketts.
Here.
Trustee Scruggs Andrew.
Here.
And Trustee Criswell.
Here.
All right. Thank you. On the agenda for the special meeting, we have one executive session. So at this time, I'd call for a motion to enter executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel with possible action to follow in open session for a 3-minute duration. Open session will take place in the Upper Jewel Lounge and in the virtual meeting room. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Board members will be allowed time to travel to the special meeting room. Thank you. believe we have everyone back. Could we have a motion to return to open session, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are in open session. After our executive session, I would call for a motion on the recommendation to release faculty member Melissa Gensler from her contract and to waive the liquidated damages of $500.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That is all for our special session, so I would call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Good evening and welcome. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board of Trustees this Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'll now read the KCKCC mission statement, which is to inspire individuals and enrich our community one student at a time. Cheryl, could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Ash.
Here.
Trustee Criswell.
Here.
Trustee Gilstrap.
Here.
Trustee Hoskin Sutton.
Here.
Chair Isnard.
Here.
Vice Chair Ricketts.
Here.
Trustee Scruggs on through you.
Here.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, I would invite the introduction of Mr. Okoye, Chief Information Officer, presented by Dr. Patrick Schulte, Vice President of Finance and Operations.
Excuse me. We need to approve the agenda, please.
Are we gonna approve the agenda?
Yeah, excuse me, I got out of order here. Oh, thank you. A little early. Okay. Start with a motion to approve to this evening's agenda. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Sorry, you get off by one page and it's gonna set me off the whole night, I'm sure. All right, now I'd invite the presentation of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Education, Health, and Wellness Center update presented by Dr. Mosier.
All right, if you'll just give me 1 second, please. I'm having some audio difficulties. Test 1, 2. Randy, I'm getting an echo off my laptop. All right, thank you for that, Chet. We'll pull it up here in just 1 second, please. All right, Randy. Very good. Let's see. Looking for, there we go. Okay, thank you everyone for your patience. A downtown update. It has been quite a busy time on the downtown site. I pulled up this image because it was just a great reminder for all the success that we've had and being the keynote address for the NICE Construction Excellence Conference that we had, I think this last summer or early fall. So, like I said, lots going on. As I was looking at images, I shared this, I grabbed this one and, to share because it's like, this is what the block used to look like. Buildings were falling down, their ceilings were burnt out, just an entire block almost of blight. and we are transforming it into just a beautiful center that will change the lives of people for generations to come. These are a few pictures from August 8th when we had our topping out ceremony. It was a great event. We had well over 100 people attend, including the governor of the state of Kansas to come down and be a part of the speech, the mayor, representative from Senator Moran's office, the partners, and many others. So it was just a really fabulous day for everyone who could attend. And if you didn't, I hope you were able to enjoy some of the photos and everything that were online on Facebook, LinkedIn, and other sources. And we talked about this during the event, and Pat Contreras, the VP for McCowan Gordon, posted some of this online. We are setting the stage for generations to come for downtown Kansas City, Kansas, and the urban core. This truly is the largest economic investment in downtown KCK in its history that's not a non-federal building. So we should be really proud of that. A $75 million building. We've raised over $60 million of that, and wanted to emphasize and share with the community that we've done this over these last 6 years and never raised any mill levies. No new taxes, no bond issues or anything like that. We saved and we saved and we saved, and we fundraised and fundraised and fundraised. So having the topping off ceremony was kind of a neat point in time to celebrate what we're doing. And at this point, Randy, can you go ahead and share the video, please?
As we look upon this beautiful structure being built in front of us, I would be remiss if I didn't remind you that this is just so much more than a building or a structure or a facility. Today we witnessed the building and the ceremonial placement of that last steel beam into what will become the greatest transformational landmark and catalyst for growth for the future success, health, and well-being in the reviving and the thriving town of Kansas City, Kansas.
We know that when we invest in providing a world-class education, we're building a brighter future for our workforce, our economy, and our communities. This state-of-the-art 100,000 square foot building will be home to a cutting-edge, multi-purpose space designed with the local community in mind.
This isn't just about economic development. This isn't just about education. It's about enhancing and improving lives.
Together, we are going to change lives in Wyandotte County, and what's exciting is it's beginning today.
We've been working on this project for 7 years, developing it, acquiring the land, putting it all together, and really building a center that involves Kansas City, Kansas Community College, Swope Health, Community America Credit Union, for all these wraparound services that our students need when they graduate from our programs, and we'll put them in just wonderful careers. It'll be helpful for their career and their generation and their kids' generations to follow.
I'm most proud of my team. They have spent countless hours up front, pre-construction, planning this project, and then executing.
Proud with what we've created, and we've still got a lot of work to do, but I believe all the trade partners coming on board will also be great team players and looking for a successful project.
It's really a phenomenal opportunity for everybody on the team to be a part of such a project that's going to really enhance the health and well-being of an entire community and provide so many opportunities. This one will be special, being able to explain the impact that it's going to have on the community and the number of people that it's truly going to help.
Wow. Great video by McCowan Gordon, but you think about it and you talk about changing communities, and we are a community college and what we're doing for this community. I can't think of anything stronger to help tell that story, a part of our story here at KCKCC. So lots going on downtown. We are still on schedule to begin moving some elements into the building the second half of May. Some of the larger equipment after we finish up the regular spring semester here in June and get everyone ready to go and to be open for fall 2026. So we're getting really close, folks. Thanks for everyone's help and support.
Awesome.
All right. Great news. And the ceremony went great. I was happy to be able to attend. I saw most of you or all of you there. So great celebration for the community. Next, I would invite the presentation of the KCKCC Community Impact and Proposed Fiscal Year 2026 Budget Update by Dr. Mosher.
Thank you, Chair Isnard. Appreciate that. This is a time that really, again, we get to talk about the wonderful impact that we are having on the community, and playing off of the last video that we just watched and conversation that we had, we are really changing the lives of people, just not for downtown KCK, but all the surrounding area with everything that we do, the downtown project, and also everything that we're doing now already. These are just some of the articles that have been written over the last 2 years or so about the project, showing just the focus and attention that is being put on KCKCC and what we're doing for our community. And we've shared these numbers before. The economic impact that we have on Wyandotte County and the Metro KC it's just tremendous. So these numbers are from 2022. So in 2022, the state of Kansas and taxpayers here, local, all in, had an investment of about $115 million, which generated $765 million in income just in that 1 year alone. So 11,633 jobs. Total return, when you count the societal returns, almost $880 million. So that's 1 year. Take that and multiply that times the number of years that we've been operating in these most recent years with the economic boom. Trying to give people a little bit more newer information, because those reports do take time to pull together. We shared this at the end of the spring semester. We just took a sampling of about a dozen or so programs that I knew collect job employment salary data as students are exiting the program. And in those dozen or so programs, that's $30 million in new income for Wyandotte County and our surrounding area. And that's just a portion of what we're doing here at the college. And then we added another SMT section for our Panasonic students. And yes, Panasonic is not in Wyandotte County, but a lot of these students sure live in Wyandotte County, so that's where they bring the income home to. So that cohort adds another $1 million. So what we're doing is just amazing. And you'll hear people say that we are not paying taxes. No, but we're creating taxpayers. Every single year we create more and more taxpayers. So that's what we do. But thinking about it, that's not really what gets me excited. What really gets me excited is really what we're doing in a holistic way for Wyandotte County, the people in our surrounding area, the metro, and for wherever they go in their lives. So here's a new statement from the World Bank, and I've used other statements in the past. This just came out in November 2024 in their educational fact sheet. And education is one of the strongest instruments for reducing poverty and improving health, gender equality, peace, and stability. It delivers large, consistent returns in terms of income and is the most important factor to ensure equity. So for individuals, education promotes employment, earnings, health, and poverty reduction. And globally, there's a 9% increase in hourly earnings for every extra year in schooling that people have as they continue to pursue their education. This is what excites me. It excites me what we're going to do in the future. We've done great things in the past, but our work has just really started, and we have a long way to go. Kind of transitioning into our budget conversation. The budget continues to evolve with the changes that are taking place at the state level, at the federal level, at the local level. So even in the last month, there are changes to what we have proposed to the board since our July meeting. So this kind of highlights some of those so that you're aware, and we can share this electronically with you as well. I meant to do that before today's meeting, so I apologize. When we look at our mill levy history over the last 3 years, we have kept our mill levy flat or reduced it. That saves the taxpayers in Wyandotte County from paying additional taxes on any new mills because we've been keeping those flat. So in 2 years, in 2024, we cut 1 mill. That equals about $2 million per. So in those 2 years, that's about $6 million, 3 years. In 25, we cut 2.7 mills, going revenue neutral, which equals about $5.6 million. And you take that, compounded 2 years, that's another $10.6 million of tax relief, so to speak. I know people define that differently. I'm not trying to change the definitions, but they were not levied on the county, and we're glad for that. So 24-26 cumulative savings just in mill levies is $16.5 million. That's what we could have collected. It's probably the best way to describe that, which we didn't. And then additionally, on top of that $16.5 million, through 6 years of fundraising, we've earned and saved the residents of Wyandotte County over $43 million in construction costs that typically most organizations and educational institutions use mill levies, or they get a revenue bond or something like that that puts in a new tax on the community, and we've done nothing for that, to do that. And yes, we have saved Wyandotte County taxpayers' money that they've put into this project, into that, so not discounting that, but to get what we are going to provide the community and saving $43 million in new taxes is pretty remarkable. And when we look at inflation and our budget as it has proceeded from 2021 to 2025, we're now looking at about currently 5.46% less than CPI on what we have brought in versus what the inflation rate has been over these years. If we were to go revenue neutral this year, that would put us down 8.5% versus inflation, so falling further and further behind. That's about $8.5 million. These are cuts that we've adjusted since July, so wanted you to be aware. The state cuts we know are going to take effect. The clawback for the federal earmark, we think we're going to get it, but it still hasn't been approved. It got held up one more time. So that $3 million could disappear just as quickly as it reappeared. But we've taken that off the total dollars anticipated to lose. The clawbacks for federal work study, we think still might happen at $167,000. We think upward bound is fine for this year at $885,000. But the new executive order that came out does allow additional clawbacks that will be coming out here maybe in the next month or so. So we, again, will watch. SEOG funds is about $152,000. We know that's cut. Possible loss of the Title III Improving Student Success Grant at $1.3 million is still out there. Also, possible clawback to Perkins, and we did receive notice in July not to spend more than 30% by the end of September. which is concerning for us. So we won't know until December, but we went from about $8 million or $6 million or so to about 1.6. I'm going to transition here just a little bit. Sorry, and clear my screen. So what we know now, with the not losing some of the federal funds that we thought we would lose, there it is. The tuition and fees, we were anticipating that to go down. We do anticipate now a 5% increase. So that went from 10.8, nope, I'm sorry, this is still, I'm ahead of myself. This is what we were looking at in July. I apologize. So this is what we shared on July 15th. A reduction of about $2.8 million in federal grants and contracts and $705,000 in state aid. And then we have the numbers that matriculate across the screen if we are going to do any additional local cuts, reductions. So if we were to do a $500,000 reduction, that'd be $1.9 million. And if we were to go revenue neutral, that would be $4.8 million in addition to the others. Trying to get my mouse to work on both screens here, sorry. In what we showed in July, when we looked at calculations for reserves and master facility plan shown on this slide, the numbers were already reduced from where we typically start. We typically start at 7% of the reserves. The state requirement is 7.5% for the state government. Master facility reserves, we usually start at 2%. So these numbers were already brought down. With a $100 million budget, this number should be about $7 million and $2 million. So we've adjusted that. And you'll see that on the upcoming budget slide. So possible considerations of federal cuts is about 1.6 million. State cuts are 705,000 for this year, anticipated, and earlier it was $1 million, and now it's about $1.5 million dollars anticipated cuts at the state level for the following year. We haven't really talked about this as a group by itself, but our fixed expenses are really increases in cost to the college, and they're something that we really have little to no control over. The only one that we have really control over is salary increases. So we've reduced it from 4% to 3%, but if we want to give our faculty and staff salary increases, that does cost $2.3 million. Related health insurance is $500,000. Facility insurance, and I put pre-flood on here. We thought it would go up $100,000, but it's probably going to go up a lot more than that after the last flood damage. Utility costs, vehicle leases. So our fixed expenses that we really need to plan for is $5.3 million. So you can see these numbers just continuing to add up. How that plays out in the budget, so this is for August. This is where I was looking at, or earlier we were looking at flat tuition and fees. Now with the anticipated 5% growth, we're increasing tuition and fees by $500,000 in our budget. Here's what we're talking about earlier, the adjustment to reserves. Instead of starting at $5.2 million, really we're starting at $7.3 million for the main reserves and the master facility plan reserves. Instead of starting at 1.6, we're truly starting at 2.09 $2.09 million. So that's why in the July version, I should get my mouse here, there were no reductions in here because it had already been taken out, but we're already truly deducting $2.5 million just for those items alone. Strategic opportunities for the last 7 years, we've started at $1.25 million. The $600,000, what you saw in previous versions, is because we already cut it in half because it was the fiscal year 25 approved budget. So putting those back to their regular starting points, that really tells a truer picture. So if we were to go with the flat mill levy, from the proposed budget, it's $4.4 million reduction. Some people like to look at it not from the proposed institutional budget, but from what was last year. So the tan color number here is compared to last year's budget. So it would be $1.08 million less than last year's budget. And then when we include the fixed expenses of $5.3 million, the total negative impact really is $6.4 million, and that's with a flat mill levy. The $0.5 reduction, instead of going through it all again, it's a 3.3 compared to last year's budget, 6.7 or is it 8.7 million if we include our fixed expenses and calculate for that truly. And if we were to go revenue neutral, $5.9 million, and then including fixed expenses, a true reduction from what we could do for educational activities and such. It's about $11 million reduction. So I wanted to walk through this with you this evening. We'll go through this one more time in September, and September is when we do our final decision. So I'll share this with you electronically, and if you have any questions now, I'd be happy to answer them, or if you have any follow-up questions at a later time, I'm happy to answer them there as well. And I think that is it. Yes.
Dr. Mosher, I just have one question, only because it was, of course, one of the previous slides where we showed the salary, but then we also had like 2.1 million in contracts.
Randy, can you switch screens? Back to the presentation. Contractual services.
Yeah, it wasn't that particular slide, but it was another one. It was real simple, and it was just like on the right side.
Oh, okay.
But just not a whole list, but what does that cover? Because in my head, I'm thinking that's not our, yes, that one, contractual expenses. What are some of the things that are covered in that?
Yeah, those are companies that we already have contracted for, like, say, IT services,
Okay.
Things like that that are must-haves. 5-year contracts, and we're in year, Illusion,
those folks.
Okay.
software.
That's what I kind of thought, but I wanted to make sure. I
A
wasn't
lot of
confused.
technology, such, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes.
And I have a statement I want to read. At the college convocation on Monday, August 11, 2025, the college president, Dr. Greg Mosier, presented the proposed budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 to employees, which is normal. President Mosier gave budget scenarios for remaining revenue neutral or exceeding revenue neutral. President Mosier used this platform to give the perception to employees that the 3 trustees who voted to remain revenue neutral was against the college. President Mosier stated the name of the 4 trustees who voted to exceed revenue neutral and the 3 trustees who voted to remain revenue neutral, which included me. President Mosier went on to tell employees that they have a say in this.
President Mosier then told employees that he will talk more about the new building that will be built in Leavenworth County after the election because it was being used politically. To give the perception that I am against the college because I voted to remain revenue neutral is totally untrue. I retired from Kansas City, Kansas Community College in 2014 after 30 years of service. All I have is love and concern for the community college and the community we serve. After listening to questions and concerns from the citizens of Wyandotte County, here are 3 reasons that I voted to remain revenue neutral. The community is still outraged by President Mosier's salary, which I voted against. The community wants to know how the college had $95,000 to purchase additional land in Leavenworth County, Lansing, Kansas. The community wants to know where the money is coming from to build a new building in Leavenworth County, Lansing, Kansas. At the Lansing City Council meeting on July 3rd, President Mosier told the council that solid funding for this building project had not been identified. After that Lansing Council meeting, within a few days, a resident of Leavenworth County contacted me and inquired about how the college was going to pay for the new building in Lansing. Was it through revenue bonds, or had the college talked to Leavenworth officials about a possible mill levy? Although Leavenworth County is Kansas City, Kansas Community College's service area, the building project in Leavenworth County, Lansing, Kansas, should not be financed on the back of Wyandotte County, even if other college funds are used instead of taxpayer dollars. When I consider all the facilities that KCKCC already own, plus the new beautiful location being built downtown, where is all this money going to come from for the college to remain financially sound for years to come? In 2022, when the Higher Learning Commission, our accrediting agency, was on campus regarding our accreditation, and they met with the Board of Trustees, one of their questions for the trustees was, will the college have the resources to keep our downtown campus sustainable? Our board meetings are open and public. 4 trustees voted to exceed the revenue neutral rate, and it's highly unlikely that those votes will change in September. I respect each trustee's decision. So for President Mosier to use scare tactics to employees with the various budget scenarios was nothing more than political theater. Whether or not I am re-elected to this Board of Trustees, I will always stand for integrity, accountability, and transparency. Linda Hoskins Sutton.
Again, I'd like to just respond quickly, if I may.
Go ahead.
So thank you for that. And I did mention the public vote and who voted for what options. As I mentioned in convocation, it's all public record. It was an open vote. Didn't use any scare tactics or anything like that. But we are an educational institution. I believe it's important that our employees are informed of what is taking place at the college. Not everyone gets to come to the board meetings, so that's perfectly good information to share. And in fact, we should be sharing that. And we always tell our folks, you have a voice, right? So if you want something to go a certain way, if you want to vote for revenue neutral, or if you want to vote for not net revenue neutral, then you have a voice, and people from the community are told that they have a voice and to come to the community college and speak their voice. And our employees have the same right to do that. So there was no ulterior motives there. In Lansing, we did have that conversation on how we're going to pay for the building. The $95,000 was not Wyandotte County money. Again, the $95,000 was not Wyandotte County money. And the city council was told, we don't have the plan to come up with all the money to build the facility yet, but when we do, if it includes a mill levy, or if it includes a gas tax or a hotel tax or anything like that, all of it has to be approved by the citizens of Leavenworth County, or it won't happen. So those are just different scenarios if we look at fundraising and such. So all of those are, perfectly good public conversations to have. I've always spoken the truth, and that's what I've done in this scenario. So thank you for your input.
But that perception for the president to say that and tell employees that they have a say in this.
They do.
I think we have
But
passed the point of making a campaign speech, and now it's becoming a back and forth with our president.
I'm not making
at the
a campaign
open meeting.
speech for the president to say that.
This is neither the
suggest it.
appropriate time in the agenda
Well,
for this discussion, nor
well,
appropriate
Well, of course, it's
to
not
get
going
into
to be
personal
appropriate.
attacks.
Of course, it's not going to be appropriate in your book. But I wanted to
Are
make
we
that.
able to move
I
forward
wanted
with
to
the
make
agenda?
that clear to employees that I am not against the college.
Thank you.
I'd like to say something that I would like I guess you're the chair of the board, not to bring political innuendos into the conversation.
Thank
Just
you for your input.
To allege that she was making a political speech. That didn't seem different from how she's also always concerned about what's happening within the college and what's best for the college and what's best for the community. So please keep political innuendos out of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
one quick point of clarification.
by all means.
We did not vote to exceed revenue neutral or to not exceed revenue neutral. What we voted was to publish a notice of our intent to exceed revenue neutral. Just to publish the notice, which has been published, at least in one publication. This is the notice of proposed property tax increase and public hearings. And ours is on there for September the 16th. And that's when we will have the opportunity to vote to exceed revenue neutral in order to meet the proposed budget or whatever, or to not. That's when we will take that vote. What we voted was yes to publish the notice of intent to exceed, which by law had to be done by a certain date. And that's what we did. So we will have the vote of whether to exceed revenue neutral or not. And if we do vote to exceed it, by what amount, by what number. But we haven't had that vote yet.
Which is why it was uncalled for that statement to be made for how we voted. Not that we was trying to hide anything, but his statement was how we voted. So he said that. Yeah, yeah. And so if it's public record, why make them?
Hold on. We voted to notice it, if you will, publicly notice that we intended to be revenue neutral. And this is just my opinion, of course, and all opinions are, of course, respected, but I'm okay with having my name mentioned in a vote either way, because our job as trustees is to represent the 160 or so thousand citizens of this county. So I'm fine with it, but I certainly do understand and respect all points that have been given this far. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is the audience to patrons and petitioners. This time I'd invite the public to raise their hands in the chat or approach the podium for the opportunity to address the board. Addressees must state their name and address for the record before making their comment or question. There is a 3-minute time limit. Do we have anyone in the chat?
We don't have anyone in the chat.
And seeing none approaching the podium, we'll move forward with the agenda. Next, I'd invite the introduction of Dr. Devin Stroman, Vice President, Enrollment Management and Student Services, presented by Dr. Mosier.
Thank you, Chair Isnard. It's really my extreme pleasure tonight to introduce you to Dr. Devin Stroman, who has been selected to serve as KCKCC's Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Services. Dr. Stroman brings a wealth of knowledge and education to this area in enrollment management, previously serving as the Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs at Eastern New Mexico University in Roswell. Prior to that at ENMU, he oversaw the One Stop Center and provided leadership in academic advising, admissions and records, adult education, enrollment management, financial aid, new student relations, veteran affairs, the One Stop Center, student life, testing services, TRIO, and various institutional committees. So a lot of what he's doing right here. So we're glad to have that knowledge base come with him. At ENMU, he also increased enrollment 29% from 2018 to 2024. And prior to being at Eastern New Mexico University, he was at Western New Mexico University in Silver City. So I went from one side of the state to the other, and is just has a great career, wonderful family that he's bringing with him. He enjoys time when he's not at work, spending time with his wife and family, doing a lot of outdoors activities, and a competitive tennis player. So I introduce you to Dr. Devin Stroman.
Thank you, Dr. Moser, members of the board. Really appreciate the introduction. Really looking forward to this new opportunity, not just being in a new state, new environment, but the 3 weeks that I've served in this role already, I've been welcomed with open arms with the staff, faculty, cabinet members. It's just been a great experience so far, and I really look forward to the future and working with you all. Thank you.
Welcome.
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 Thank you.
All right, looks like we have another introduction. Now that I'm to the correct page, it's again, introduction of Mr. Okoye, Chief Information Officer, presented by Patrick Schulte, Vice President of Finance and Operations.
Good evening, everyone, and I'm asking Eche to come up to the podium along with me. We are excited to announce Eche Okoye as the new Chief Information Officer here at KCKCC. I may have mentioned him last month as well. Eche brings more than 15 years of experience leading technology initiatives across higher education and global enterprise environments. During his time as acting CIO and member of the IT executive leadership team at New Mexico State University. So at this point, New Mexico is not very happy with us because we continue to pull their leadership and their talent up here to us in Kansas. So Eche directed the IT project portfolio and change management office, helping align more than $15 million in enterprise IT investments in leading major initiatives, such as the migration of Aleutian Banner ERP system to the cloud, which sounds very familiar to what we're doing currently. We are a colleague, not Banner School, but the same process. So bringing in the leadership that we need to shepherd the project you all approved as we move forward and take steps towards changing our enterprise from a technology standpoint. Early in his career, he led international technology projects in 27 countries as a senior leader at Team Lab Incorporated in Japan. Okoye brings a unique blend of hands-on leadership and academic insight to technology strategy and innovation. That was very apparent to the committee that reviewed the candidates for CIO and made the selection of Eche. Eche has earned his Master's of Business Administration degree in Information Technology Management from Western Governors University and is currently a PhD candidate in Learning Technology at New Mexico State, so soon to be Dr. Okoye. With that, I'm delighted to introduce Eche, and I will allow him to say a few words about himself.
Good evening, members of the board. Thank you for having me. I must say that I'm delighted to be with you all and the opportunities that you're providing to the members of our community. One of the things that attracted me to KCKCC, I'm still learning the process, is all in Kansas, is the dedication to the underserved community that we're serving here. That's one of the things that brought me here, and I'm hoping to use technology to reach our students where they are. And the SaaS migration we are working on is one of the major things that will drive us to where our students are. Again, thanks for welcoming me. It's been a great opportunity here for the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks I've been here. great people. People have been kind of more kind than I expected in Kansas, quite frankly. But overall, I'm glad and delighted to be here. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to both of you to the Midwest.
I just have to ask you, are you by chance related to the former Chiefs player Christian Okoye?
Quite frankly, I get that a lot. Yeah, I think when I first came here, my Uber driver asked if I'm related to him, but because we somehow looked alike, but the same town, the same state, but I guess long distance cousins, they say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good answer.
All right. Next, we have the Academic Program Annual Report presented by Mr. Jerry Pope, Vice President of Academic Affairs. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Program review at Kansas City, Kansas Community College is a 4-year continuous improvement cycle that's designed to strengthen academic programs, ensure alignment with the college's mission, and support student success. Each program participates in year 1. There's a self-study report, which is a comprehensive analysis of program mission, enrollment, student outcomes, curriculum, finances, and assessment. Programs present findings to the Program Review Committee and receive formal feedback. In year 2, there's an action plan, so programs create measurable action plans focused on 2 strengths to maintain and 2 challenges to address based on that self-study report and the Program Review Committee feedback. Year 3 is a mid-cycle report. Programs submit an update on their progress, reassessing data and modifying action plans as needed. And then in year 4, we have a final report where programs summarize outcomes, report on completed action plans, identify new strengths and challenges, and establish long-term goals. Oversight is provided by the Program Review Committee, which includes faculty representatives. All reports are reviewed sequentially by program coordinators, deans, the PRC, and then finally the Vice President of Academic Affairs. We think this process ensures that program-level insights inform institutional planning, resource allocation, and accreditation compliance. So in this particular year, the PRC managed activities across four cohorts, and this represented nearly 40 academic programs at various stages in the review. So cohort 1, this is their year 3, mid-cycle reports. So these programs included things like emergency medical education, fire science, nursing, and many others. All programs submitted mid-cycle reports documenting progress on previously developed action plans. Each report was signed by the dean and archived by the PRC, ensuring accountability and continuity. These programs will complete their final reports next year. Cohort 2 was in the action plan year. So these are some representative programs are accounting, business administration, cosmetology, digital imaging design. They developed action plans based on their initial self-studies. Most programs successfully completed the required steps. For the 1 or 2 that didn't, we're working with them to figure out what kind of went on, dean level review and PRC archiving. These programs will move into the mid-cycle review this coming year. Cohort 3, they're in the self-study, so this is year 1. These programs included addiction counselor, biomanufacturing, automotive technology, and these are just examples of the programs. They did their self-study reports. These reports analyze student success data, curriculum finances, and alignment with the college's strategic plan. Presentations and PRC feedback are scheduled for spring of 25, positioning these programs to create action plans for this upcoming academic year. And I read those this summer, so it's kind of fresh on my mind, and I will say that the input as we go through this cycle and as we work to improve it each year is getting better and better, so that's good. Cohort 4 in the final reports, programs such as computer support specialists, mortuary science, nail technology, welding technology submitted their final reports. Concluding their 4-year review cycle, these reports evaluated progress made on action plans, identified new program challenges and strengths, and set long-term goals. These programs now re-enter the cycle with self-studies in the coming year. So some key achievements. This group oversaw 35 programs across 4 cohorts simultaneously. We ensured consistent dean-level engagement and PRC documentation for most of these submissions. There's a couple of submissions that, just go to the PRC, but the overwhelming majority received that engagement and documentation. Supported programs in connecting self-study findings to actionable, measurable improvement plans, position the programs for successful transition into the next phases of the cycle. And then in 25, Cohort 1 has their final reports, Cohort 2, mid-cycle review, Cohort 3, action plans, and Cohort 4 will start their self-studies again. The Program Review Committee continues to provide KCKCC with the structured evidence-based framework for academic quality and accountability. This year's progress demonstrates how faculty and administrators are working together to ensure programs remain strong, responsive to student and community needs, and align with the college's mission and strategic plan. So I'll take any questions that you have, but that process is, we were under review by the HLC specifically for that process. I've had to report on it since they came, and so we're just continuing. We refine it all the time, but we're just continuing that process as we identified it.
Well, this is music to the Board of Trustees' ears, that this keeps improving, because you're right, that was why the Higher Learning Commission was on our campus to talk to us.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so to see that it's continuing to improve and that we're on the right path now. Thank you to the faculty and assessment office, everyone that's been involved to help us really get on the right track for this. So thank you for your leadership in that role.
Thank you, Trustee.
All right, any other questions, comments from the board? All right, thank you, Mr. Pope.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. That brings us to the 2024-2025 Kansas City, Kansas Community College Annual Report presented by Ms. Chris Green, Vice President of Marketing and Institutional Image. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
You all have, I believe, at your stations, a copy of the report, and it was in your packet. And I am going to take just a moment to go through some of those highlights with you today. It has been an exciting year. We really are fueling the future with the work we do here for our students and for the greater community. When we look here at student success, I want to really step in and talk a little bit about how we are looking at, we were applauded for our work in voter registration through student engagement. We celebrated first-generation trailblazers. A century of graduates. This was our 100th anniversary for our commencement, and Sporting KC is a wonderful venue to see all of our students out there. Centennial Hall continues from when we opened it to today to have a waiting list and provide quality education. Just this last weekend, they were out there with a backyard barbecue that evening, enjoying that outside space. So continuing to have a great community experience. And of course, our award-winning music program with 7 downbeats, and I believe it's up to about 69 awards for them to date over the last 7 years. We really do have a lot to be proud of when it comes to our students. So I'm very proud of all of those accomplishments, and there are many more in there. When we look at community engagement, we were really partners with our community this year. We took it to the next level. Looking back a little bit, we said to the women who won the national championship in 2019, hey, come join us in the Hall of Fame. That was a very special moment for athletics. It was a great time to be here and to remember that achievement. We had not only a century with commencement, but a century with our lighting ceremony and candle lighting. That was a wonderful event as well, raising funds for scholarships. While we have passed our official centennial, this year marked 2 more centennial events that made the past year extra special. We had area congressmen visit us. We also had our AET program serving as a launch pad with over 100 people at some of their open house events, and our community partners and industry partners really working with us hand in hand to bring in a great FAME cohort who are both serving either as apprentices or as traditional members of the FAME model, as well as that program serving as part of the launch pad for what we're doing with the SMT program for Panasonic as an apprenticeship. So I would not even be able to talk about community engagement without talking about the wonderful partnership with the Transformative Community Center. I know I saw many of your faces there at our topping out ceremony, and the community appreciation, the community insight and support of that endeavor was something to behold. We had over 100 people there, and it was pushing on oven temperatures. So that was very appreciated. Governor Kelly made it a very special moment along with our partners and our community members, and watching that drone as they put that in place, that was great. So thank you to all of you who participated and were able to come out to that event. It was a great day, and it'll be an even greater day when about a year from then we can do some kind of ribbon cutting and celebration as we're walking through that building. And then college success will be our third area that I want to talk about tonight. And
1 minute.
College, we look here at, we were named the only Kansas college as a national first-gen forward network. That's so important to the work that's done in Dr. Stroman's area with first-generation students. We also had the opportunity to really take what we're doing here with the workforce partnerships on the road. AACC, we received a grant from them for our work and apprenticeships and partnerships. And I know that we saw Dr. Balog there as well with Ashley, who were down there at Tesla itself, touring it as part of that grant experience, and us leading the way in what we were doing with partnerships with Panasonic in the EV space. We also had a lot of new leadership join our team this past year. That's an exciting as we're positioned ourselves to do more and amazing things. We had 40X in action. We have had some tremendous results with that as we were reported at the convocation, some of the great successes, and that's one of the teams who focused on customer service this year, holding up some of the comments that they received from their surveys. So that's just a great testament to what it is that we're doing. Of course, we had more slaps at the holiday party, and all of this would not be possible without President Mosier's leadership, and that was recognized as he was named one of the top higher ed leaders in 2025. So that's exciting as well, and really with that Education Magazine raised our national profile. And as we support our community and our college, we are always there observing Juneteenth. And that was a wonderful celebration. And we had community, we had students, we had everybody there. And it was a great day. I can't tell you, I had 2 new staff members who were starting right about the time we were doing that. And they're like, wow, just wow, that was a great event. So as we look at all of these different ways that Kansas City, Kansas Community College is leading the way for our students, for our employees, for our community, and for the nation, really, we have to stop back and say that we are KCKCC proud. So with that, I'll take any questions you might have about our annual report, but I just wanted to highlight some of those areas for you today.
Well, thank you, Ms. Green. I appreciate the report. Looks great. This is the first time I'm getting to see the full version of it. And one thing I wanted to call out, just opening right to the center page before I've gotten to dive into everything, I'm so glad that we were able to include the remembrance for a life of education and service for our former trustee, Pat Bruni.
Yes.
Who passed away recently, and just grateful to have met and worked with her in the past, and I'm glad that we could have that included. So thank you for doing that.
Of course, she was very important to the movement in this college as a trustee.
Looks wonderful. Thank you. You guys did a great job.
Yes. Thank you for your leadership on the marketing. It just continues to grow. This is very impressive. I was looking at it online, so I'm glad we have a hard copy. So thank you to you and your entire staff.
Thank you. My team worked really hard on this, and I'll pass that along.
Thank you.
Looks good.
All right, hearing no other questions or comments, I think we are ready to move on then next into communications. And I would announce at this time, just a reminder to our board on our trustee retreat coming up. So it is scheduled for, you should all have calendar invites for August 23rd, this coming Saturday, 9 a.m. to noon. It is a hybrid format, so there will be a location here on campus, the executive boardroom number 3252 for trustees, with public viewing rooms available, room 3201 and 3202. And we will have trustees also attending virtual via Zoom. So if you have any questions or concerns about the scheduling for that, or find that you're unable to attend, please just let us know. But otherwise, we will see you on Saturday. And then also a reminder of the Board of Trustees Candidate Forum. This, it says, is going to be presented by Dr. Mosier.
Yeah, thank you, Chair Isnard. Just a reminder for the college community that we will have a forum for the Board of Trustee candidates, and that will be for college employees, specifically for college employees. And the date is Wednesday, September 17th, 3 to 4:30 p.m. It's hybrid here on main campus in Upper Jewel and on Teams. So please put that on your calendar, and if it's not already, and we hope to have really good participation at that event. Thank you.
All right, looking forward to that as always. All right, now we are ready for the board committee reports. At this time, I'd invite the Board Finance Committee, led by Trustee Criswell, to report.
Thank you, Chair Isnard. The Kansas City, Kansas Community College Board Finance Committee met last Tuesday, August 12th. Most of my highlights have already been covered, so thank you very much, Dr. Mosier. Great job on those. But just wanted to read, and by the way, my report is going to be extremely short, for that reason, which that's fine, because we certainly don't want to be redundant. But just wanted to make sure that folks understand that the usual statement that I always open with still remains true. And that is the college continues to manage the financial resources that it has very, very effectively. And, if you just look at any of our financial statements or reports, it's quite evident, and it's of course public information as well. So, would invite anyone, whether it's trustees, faculty, staff, cabinet, any of the citizens of this county, if you ever have questions about, what we're doing to manage things financially, just take a look at those documents, because I think it really helps to tell a story. Plus, Dr. Mosier, I wanted to commend you, Dr. Mosier, for your ability to really just break down some numbers that are very, very complicated to the layperson, but to really break those down and articulate those in a way that is understandable, comprehensive, and just easy to see. So thank you for that. A couple more real quick things. We're just about done with my report. I know that Dr. Mosier gave an update, of course, on the downtown location, which he did today as well, so I won't reiterate that. But just know that we did have a full meeting, of course, and we went through the usual items, including and especially the financial summary and the board financial reports, which we always do, but just wanted to remind folks who may not know that that's part of our usual practice. So with that, I will hand it back to you, Chair. That concludes my report. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Trustee Criswell. Appreciate that. Great information. Are there any questions or comments from the board? No. Hearing none, do we have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the Board Policy Committee, which I do have a note did not meet yet. They haven't returned from the summer, but Trustee Hoskins-Sutton, did you have anything that you wanted to mention?
Yes, we will start meeting again next month. I know Lorraine probably has things already ready for us. So the students will be back, the senates will be back, And I want to encourage the Student Senate, the advisor, student engagement, Ms. Hayden, I can't think of her first name, to get students to get involved. I know that they will think, well, these are college policies. They don't really affect us. But it is a good learning experience. What college student can say that they get to see how policies are made, the whole process? So I would encourage you, the new VP as well, to tell students the student leaders, the importance of participating in this, even if they read it and say, oh, it's not going to involve us, but to know that whole process and to know, we want to hear their feedback, because sometimes they can give us insight that we didn't even think about. So we look forward to getting back and having the college, the Senate's input, because we work on shared governance here. Thank you. September 11th is our next meeting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, do we have
Just
a motion to approve?
comment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
Just a real quick comment. I just wanted to commend the policy committee, because I know Trustee Hoskins Sutton and the rest of the committee have been really holding down or keeping the wheels on the bus when it comes to understanding policy, making policy easy for other members who are non-policy committee members to understand the policy. And I just wanted to say thank you, because policy, I look at it, it's like, oh, not my swim lane. And so I'm very, very happy that there's a group of folks at KCKCC who are highly competent and effective at running that committee and making it easier for the rest of us. Another thing I wanted to say was particularly Trustee Hoskins Sutton, have you ever thought about presenting at the ACCT? Because the policy committee work that you guys have done is excellent. It's not average stuff. You're not seeing every community college around the country doing what you guys are doing. So just, planting the bug, but I just want to say thanks and kudos. Thank you.
Thank you for the recognition for the committee.
All right. Thank you. Do we have a motion to approve the report?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we're ready for the Board Community Engagement Committee with Vice Chair Ricketts.
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
This is the fun part. Everybody in the audience should be smiling now. Listen, we did not meet in the month of August because we are getting prepped and ready for our in-person community engagement session, where we will have our community members that are part of the team that will be coming in and joining us. And so Trustee Ash and Chris Green and I will be meeting to get everything in order for that. One of the things we did in advance was send all of the community members of the community engagement team a little bit of sound bites that they can share, because you all know what happens when we're out and about with our family and friends. It's okay to ask that little question, hey, didn't you go to KCKCC? How was your experience? Or keep that listening ear. I love when I run into people and they share their story of the community college, or they share their child's story. It's a great time to listen. It's also a great time to have them share with us, old school saying, what's the word on the street? What are people saying about the college? Literally today, and I will not call her out by name, my sister-in-law, she's like, is that the college building that's going up downtown? And I started to ask her, was she actually related to me? But she was excited. She got excited. And you all, she is from Wyandotte County. I won't name drop it. But she could watch this later. I'm like, we have great things coming at the college, but we also want to make sure that our community engagement members are also sharing any concerns that they're hearing, so that we can share real information and address, I'm trying to think of a polite word, myths. We could be the myth buster. As needed. But that event is coming up on September 8th, so we are super excited. Still looking to bring on some community members that are, I'm just going to say, in their 20s and 30s, so everybody is not super seasoned. So look for those changes coming up.
All right. Thank you, Vice Chair Ricketts. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the report or accept the report? Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the ACCT and KACC delegates report with Trustee Ash.
Yes, so the annual Congress is coming up for ACCT in October. So we have a few plans in the works for those attending that, and we will be presenters down there again. We will be presenters talking about all of this great work, public-private partnerships, and all of the great success we've had with capital campaign and all the stuff Chris talked about, right? So we're excited about that. I anticipate the session will be well attended. Certainly hope it will be, because it would be to folks' benefit. So that's that. Now, KACC, it's kind of the off season, if you will. So it's relatively quiet. From the trustees' perspective, there isn't really anything new. And I don't know, Dr. Moser, if you have anything to report from the Council of Presidents. I know there were a couple of things that, you all and Heather were concerned about, but I don't know if anything's developed out of the State House or not, so.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to touch on tonight. It's still, like, as you say, it's still in development, and we're not sure where it's going to land.
Yeah. So it's a little bit disconcerting, sometimes we don't know until we get to the line of scrimmage, whether we're going to run that play or not, or call an audible, and so it's kind of an off season right now, so there's really nothing other than that to report. We're gearing up for the next quarterly meeting, which I believe is in Barton. I believe, so.
What month is that? When is it going to be in
Pardon?
Barton? When is it going to be in Barton? What month? Is it December or?
I think it's in, let me check real quick. I think it's in, no, because we just
you can tell
met.
us later.
We're a little bit off cycle because of when PTK was moved to, which kind of made everything else go a little bit later. We really actually don't meet until, and it's in Garden, December 5th and 6th, Friday and Saturday. The meeting will be in Garden City. Now, one thing that was talked about is there was discussion. We didn't change anything or vote anything, but nearly all the time it's a Friday, Saturday format for the meeting, and the president's had some discussion that of shifting that to a Thursday, Friday format rather than being there on Saturday, because a lot of the sporting events, sporting activities for the colleges take place on Saturday, and the presidents like to attend, a lot of, just as an example, and or they have children or grandchildren participating somewhere, and they're missing a lot of family time, that way. And so actually it works that way some for trustees also. So I know I missed some things, over the years on that was happening on Friday night football or Saturday, when my son was playing and my grandson. So we'll vote on that, I guess, in December, but that's about the biggest change, if you will, that's kind of in the wind right now. And nothing has been changed. The meeting in Garden will be Friday, Saturday format.
And you touched on, you mentioned my other question was about PTK. With the change in that format, we're not going to all meet in one location in April, is that correct? So what is our region going to do?
Yeah, so we don't know.
Okay. It's still,
Heather reported she hasn't heard anything from anybody. We put them on notice that
yes.
KCKCC was not going to
this past April
facilitate it, you know, anymore. And Dr. Moser, unless she said something when I haven't been around, the last word I had from her was, she said, we've notified them, but I haven't heard anything.
That's correct.
And I don't know, so maybe we can check with Stacy to see if Stacy's possibly heard anything. But again, with it being summertime and everybody just coming back
yes.
to school, I doubt, you know, Stacy's heard anything yet.
Yeah, they're trying to get ready for classes and activities and everything with classes starting just yesterday. Their focus is there, and that being in the spring, it's probably lower on the priority list right now.
But as soon as we know something, we'll be sure and share.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you very much. If there are no questions or comments for Trustee Ash, then we call for a motion to accept the report, please.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. I'd invite any questions or comments. If there are none, I call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, moving into our staff and administration reports. This evening, we do not have a student senate report. They're not scheduled back yet due to summer break. So we'll move straight into the president's report with Dr. Mosier.
Thank you. And with my previous reports, I'll keep this brief. Starting off the new academic year is always excited. As we mentioned, we kicked it off with a wonderful convocation this last week on Monday. We had the State of the College address, brought in a national speaker, Mark Perna, who talks about connecting with the Y generation. We put out promotional material about him presenting at this at the convocation, and we had an additional like 60 people than we normally have, 60 or 70 people. So we had 456 people is the count at convocation, which is really exciting to have that type of attendance. Incredible comments from the people who responded to the survey already. Then we also talked about 40X, our successes, and what we're doing for this next year. Probably Dr. Baylog has some more information on that. The parking lots are full, the hallways are full, the classes are full, so that's a good thing. Centennial Hall is full. So all is looking good and a bright start to the new year. On the flood update, working with service masters who've done just a really incredible job and working with our facility staff, Debbie Fangman and others. This last meeting, Tuesday night, we voted to put $1 million into the contingency budget that we could use in the case of an emergency. Wednesday night it rained. 8.5 inches in about 4 to 6 hours, and that's what flooded the 51,000 square feet. So that was good thinking. We'll probably should increase that number. So with the price tag on this one. But they have done a remarkable job. We had them focus on Flint hallway first, lower level. It has 16 classrooms in there, 16, 17 classrooms. And from the time it flooded to actually Friday, we got the occupancy for 3 rooms by the city, and I got a text message from Dr. Schulte that all the other rooms have received their occupancy this afternoon, evening. So except for the bathrooms, all classrooms in Flint have been completely gutted, sheetrock stripped, put in new, carpet, tile, whatever, ripped out, put in new, anything wood, absorbent, ripped out, put in new. That includes built-in cabinets, et cetera. We have to order all new furniture, but we'll be having classes in there. We had some already this week, and we'll be having some other guests in there in the coming weeks as well. So great job by everyone. Blue Devil Cafe opened up yesterday. They also served for convocation. The food was incredible. Thank you, Dr. Schulte, for having some samples for us tonight. That was good. We did go and try out their French fries and cheese curds and stuff today as well. So I tell you, it's good stuff. And an entire meal for $10. It's great. ACCT, Trustee Ash already mentioned that. In addition to presenting on the EV hub that we're working on with AACC, Tesla, Panasonic, et cetera, with Franklin Covey and 40X, because we've been so successful. Again, they've asked me to present at ACCT for 40X and Franklin Covey as well on a panel for that. So that'll be a good conference and a wonderful annual report. And with that, that concludes my report.
You will probably have a lot of attendance on the talking about EV, because you don't hear much of that at ACCT. So for our college to already be in that, you'll probably have a high turnout for that session.
Great. All right, thank you, Dr. Mosier. And just to add a little bit to the flood damage that we've received, I know Dr. Mosier shared pictures with all of us, so we've seen just how extensive that was. I was thankful after the pictures started coming out. We have our scheduled weekly one-on-ones, Dr. Mosier and I just asked him, hey, can I come out in person and let's do our one-on-one, but then actually tour the damage. And I've got to tell you, to walk through and see the pictures didn't do it justice. Just the power of water uncontrolled is pretty impressive. So we toured through all of the rooms that were affected and the Surf Pro crews that were already in working, and just the amount of man hours that went into getting it turned around is really impressive, to be able to do it that quickly and be ready for students. So kudos to the team who put in a lot of effort and as quickly as possible to get that turned around. Greatly appreciated, and hopefully we've got some plans in place now to stop this from happening in the future. Because we can't keep dealing with this. We've got to have a plan to get the water diverted other ways. So thank you again to everyone on the team for the work on that. Appreciate it. Are there any other questions or comments for Dr. Mosier?
Nope.
All right. Then I would call for a motion to accept his report, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And looks like we have Dr. Baylog at the ready up here for the Executive Vice President report. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Chair Isnard, members of the board, for the opportunity to present this month's update. Our transition to year 2 with the implementation of Franklin Covey's The 4 Disciplines of Execution will be the focus of my update this month. You've heard briefly mentioned by Chris, President Mosier, 40X uniquely cuts across our entire institution and helps shape our strategy, our approach to partnerships, and our operations. We wrapped up the initial year of the 40X implementation this summer with impressive outcomes. In fact, according to our consultants from Franklin Covey, KCKCC is garnering more momentum faster, generating more results faster than any of their other higher education clients.
Period.
Setting the standard. Yes, sir. Setting the standard. The college exceeded our wildly important goal centered on the number of students who earned a certificate or degree. Our goal was a 3% increase over the prior year. We experienced an 8% gain, with 77 more students earning a credential year over year. Our subwigs for the year were focused on enrollment and persistence. The college exceeded our enrollment goal, a 2.5% increase year over year, with an actual 6.4% increase. An increase of 460 students over the prior year. The college came just short of our persistence goal of a 4.4% gain year over year, but still increased student persistence by 3.4%, or 113 students persisting from the fall to the spring semester. These achievements reflect the dedication, focus, innovation, and collaboration that's happening within teams across the college. More students are enrolling and succeeding due to our collective contributions. We noted many of our team's achievements at Convocation, ranging from student awareness of mental health services and Centennial Hall resident GPAs to exceeding our annual fundraising goal in the foundation, increasing the use of our wellness and fitness center, and completing the development of a new college website. These are just a few examples of the contributions that our teams are making across KCKCC. As we move forward into year 2, we'll retire our completion WIG. While not listed as a wildly important goal, we'll continue to monitor student certificate and degree completion, but it's a byproduct of the other areas that we're focusing. Our college's wildly important goal for year 2 is to increase fall to spring persistence from 71.96% that we experienced this past year to 72.5% by the end of May 2026, continuing that upward trajectory, giving us something that we can stretch for, but also realistically attain. Persistence is defined as a continuation of an enrollment from the fall semester to the spring semester. It's important because it's a signal of student momentum. There's much that we can do across the college to influence and encourage that momentum, giving our teams the opportunity to identify their own WIGs that can contribute to increasing that momentum and helping our students to persist. For this next year, we'll also set 3 sub-WIGs. First, to grow the number of students enrolled from 7,055 this past year to 7,255, a jump of 200. That is our goal for this next year by the end of May 26. Second, to increase the retention of first-time in college students from 54.83 to 55.5 by the end of October 2026. This measure, like persistence, informs the college on student momentum and continuation towards completion, and the impact of our engagement strategies and interventions on their enrollment. It allows us to chart our progress against what we've experienced in the past. It also allows us to start using a common definition for persistence that allows us to compare KCKCC's performance to peers across the country, connecting with Aspen, connecting with Complete College America and the American Association of Community Colleges. Third, our third goal is to maintain an average stakeholder experience score of 3 on a 4-point scale by the end of June 2026. With support from institutional effectiveness, we'll develop stakeholder surveys to assess the quality of various stakeholders' experiences with the college. This past year, several teams, namely events scheduling and information technology, received positive scores from stakeholders. These scores will help inform our work as we continue to make strides in improving stakeholder perceptions of KCKCC. We look forward to the year ahead and taking our level of execution to an even higher level at KCKCC. This concludes my report. I welcome your questions.
I'll be glad to kick it off. First of all, congratulations on all of the increases. That is a phenomenal job. You know, I'm going to ask you, have you started considering building out 4DX for the new location and the new staff and all of the new projects that will be downtown?
That will come. 4DX is something that we're implementing institution-wide. So this is affecting not just those that will be downtown, it's also affecting those at our Technical Education Center as well as out at our Leavenworth site, at our Pioneer Career Center. So it's enterprise-wide.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations on the work.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Hearing no other questions, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Dr. Baylor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Can I add one quick comment? I'm so sorry, Dr. Baylor. I'm not, but here's what I have for you. So let me tell you also, I was in, I'm trying not to give it all away. I was out of the city, and I love when someone knows my role here, and then they ask me, well, do you know Dr. Baylor? And I'm like, yes. And they go on and the high praises that they give you. And then they ask me the question, do you know Ashley? And I said, which one? And then, of course, it's Ashley Irving. And the praises that they give the two of you, and I know it's not just the two of you. In this case, it was the two of you because I was in Topeka, and I'll leave it at that. And it just makes us proud. It makes us proud when leaders at the college have a phenomenal reputation outside of the four walls of the building. So thank you to all of you. In this case, it's you two this time, because it's exciting, and it's exciting to be a part of KCKCC and hear the great reputation that our leaders have outside the building. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, and it's representative of a team effort. Certainly nothing without the team, but perceptions around the college, about the college, in the community, metro-wide. We are the first institution that community-based organizations and others are pointing to, looking to, because they know KCKCC will lean in and be there to support them nationally. I mean, we kind of joked earlier about pulling talent from New Mexico. The reality is, though, that people from across the country are now looking to KCKCC and saying, I want to be a part of that.
Feels
Special.
good. Thank you.
Special.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bailey.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda, we have the Vice President of Academic Affairs report with Mr. Jerry Pope. Good evening.
Good evening again. So Trustee Ricketts, that actually is a great segue. I have a couple of people to introduce right here at the beginning. And Ashley Irvin is serving right now as our Interim Dean of Career and Technical Education. So thank Ashley for agreeing to step up to actually do that role again. So I'm very proud and very happy of that, for that. And then also Mr. Adam Hadley, who is a longtime professor of English here at the college, most recently the Faculty Senate President. He is serving as the Interim Dean of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. So I thank both of them very much for being willing to take on this new role. Although talking to Adam at the end of last week, I told him that was the hardest week. Although I don't think that might not have been true because of today, but he's a trooper for that, and so thank you very much for doing that. And then one other person, if I may, is Breanne Dawson, who was the executive assistant to Dr. Fabiola Riobe, has joined us in academic affairs, and now is the assistant to Mr. Hadley, the interim dean of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And a shout out to her. She's done really wonderful, wonderful work and has jumped in like a trooper. So very, very proud of these additions. Right. So just a brief review of academic affairs. The Office of Assessment produced the annual institutional and division level reports to support data-informed planning. They updated the assessment handbook and are preparing for Fall Assessment Day, which has happened as of tonight, with training and a guest speaker. These efforts strengthen continuous improvement across academics and co-curricular programs. In that division, online education services, and then also our Institute for Teaching and Learning. Final implementation is underway for Genius continuing education software, which will connect continuing education enrollment to Colleague. So we're very excited about that. Anthology Illuminate is now live, linking Blackboard data with SIS for improved analytics. Faculty training is being updated to include new generative AI tools in Blackboard, Panopto for AI-driven video content, and Kale software for credit for prior learning. Dr. Cassandra Arnold joined us as Institutional Technology Coordinator 2. And then faculty leadership in AI teaching innovation continues with national conference presentations and a micro-credential earned by the faculty director, Mr. Tom Grady. Adult and continuing education. Now, this was as of July 31st, so the enrollments changed a bit, and I'll report on those numbers more fully next month. But at that time, there were 99 GED students, which was a slight decline, and 330 ESL students, which was above what it was last year. We hired a new GED instructor at Lansing Correctional Facility, and Kids on Campus summer programs served over 850 enrollments across the 6 themed weeks, despite our facility challenges, which we've talked about tonight. It's an average of 144 students per week. So that 850 were individual enrollments, and as we say, not unduplicated head count. Arts and Humanities, the Art Gallery will host nocturnes by Kate Clements and community events like a Casey Chiefs poster giveaway. Music faculty and students continue to gain national recognition, with ensembles invited to perform at prestigious state and national conferences. Dr. Justin Bennick earned national recommendations for jazz composition and will direct multiple all-state choirs in 25-26. In career and technical education, new faculty attended the Kansas Council for Workforce Education seminar, reinforcing our commitment to professional growth and instructional excellence. In health professions and public safety, nursing faculty are leading work on integrating AI ethics and training into student onboarding. Mortuary science has 55 students enrolled with a strong 90+% board pass rate. We're working on the dean and the coordinator are working on a request to be submitted to expand offerings via distance education. Math, science, business, and technology, first graduates from electronics engineering technology program completed the Certificate A. We worked on partnerships with Merck and the Animal Health Corridor to address some biomanufacturing workforce needs. Entrepreneurship initiative development with the Kauffman Foundation continues with strong community and industry engagement. The division also hosted Catholic Charities Refugee School Impact Summer Camp. Workforce innovation, and some of these are new to academic affairs, so I'm very excited to be able to report on those. The FAME cohort filled with 25 students, so that reflects strong employer partnerships. Partnerships signed with Operation Uplift to expand training opportunities for underserved populations. KCKCC was selected for National Sciences Foundation's BUILT Academy, which is a business and industry leadership team. So aligning STEM programs with employer needs. A workforce innovation coordinator was hired to expand apprenticeships. And Dr. Henderson and his team and others are preparing for Adult Education and Employment Fair September 20th to support the launch of the downtown campus. Key takeaway, academic affairs is advancing student success through strong assessment, technology innovation, faculty development, and national recognition, especially in the arts. So I will take your questions for that. It's hardly, you can't imagine that school classes started yesterday. So lots of work that's continued to go on in the summer in academic affairs.
Well, excited for the start of the year. Thank you for you and your team's work, and I'd love to take a second to thank also Mr. Hadley, Ms. Irvin for jumping in and taking on those very important roles for the start of the year. We appreciate your service and helping us move forward. So just kudos to you and your team, Mr. Pope. Appreciate you being able to pivot, especially under these circumstances as things have had to move around a little bit downstairs and all that. Yes. So thank you.
Thank you.
And just welcome back to students and faculty. We know faculty plays, well, everyone does, but being in the classroom, faculty has a major, major role. So we appreciate them coming back and being here for the students.
Absolutely.
So thank you for your leadership of academic affairs. It's not easy, I know.
Thank you. I forgot one thing, Dr. Moser. Faculty negotiations, we are a little bit behind, but we had our meeting. We did training in July. We had our initial meeting today, so I think it was a really good meeting. We've got our plan to do about 4 sessions or 5 sessions a month over the next few months, and our hope is that we'll be finished pretty soon. So it was a successful day.
Good
So
job.
sorry about that.
Thank
I
you.
forgot.
All right, any additional questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have the Vice President of Enrollment Management and Student Services report from Dr. Devin Stroman. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
All right, thank you, board, for allowing me the opportunity to speak on a very important division, as we all know. Great news coming in on Monday. Yesterday, we got a new enrollment report for this week, and reflecting the fall 2025 unduplicated head count is up 4.4% compared to fall 2024. And the unduplicated head count is up 9.6% compared to fall 2023. So very, 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 very exciting. And also with credit hours, fall 2025 credit hours are up by 7.1% compared to fall 2024, and the credit hours are up 9.9% compared to fall 2023. So it's very, very exciting news. The past 3 weeks that I've been here, I've been able to shadow the advisors and some of our admissions counselors, and it's just very impressive to see their craft and their compassion for our students at really such a hectic time coming up to the start of the school year. And a few other things that are going on in the division. Our advisors facilitated 424 virtual appointments in July of 2025, which was a 40% increase compared to July 2024 with 282 students. So we're doing a really good job of educating students on how to utilize our services virtually. Registration and records reported an increase in enrollment verification with a 253% increase in transcript requests being up 19%, with a notable rise in graduation applications plus 123%. So again, that comes back to that education piece that we're giving our students the knowledge to reach out and ask questions about when they are going to graduate, how that works. So that's really exciting. And our Blue Devils cupboard served 25 households in the month of July, including 87 adults, 20 children, and 2 people with ages 65 plus, for a grand total of 109 individuals served. And in the month of July, the Student Success Advisors served a total of 782 students who signed up for in-person advising, graduation checks for summer and fall enrollment. And this year, all around in that area, the student volume has increased traffic-wise 24% compared to 2024. So in my understanding, talking with our leadership of that area, they did a really good job this summer of reaching out to the students that needed to come in and talk to advisors, do testing services, et cetera. And lastly, I would like to report that in the month of July, the 18th through the 26th, Dr. Candace Scott, Director of International Immigrant Student Services, and Dr. Todd Miles, Fire Science Coordinator, along with 5 students and 2 community members, took part in KCKCC's first study abroad program visiting Cusco, Peru. And I'd like to invite Dr. Scott to talk a little bit more about this exciting opportunity that they had.
Thank you, Dr. Stroman. Is it ready for me? Okay. Here's a photo of the group that went to Cusco, Peru. The participants volunteered in local preschool classrooms, assisting with daily lessons. You'll see me with my 4-year-old students upper left and below dancing to celebrate one of their holidays. Dr. Todd is pictured with his classroom teachers, and to the right you will see 2 of the classrooms. We painted and refurbished the courtyard playground area of one of the preschools, turning it into a vibrant, welcoming space. Everyone was on their hands and knees, having fun painting the playground. Additionally, we were allowed to paint KCKCC 25 onto the playground. We visited an alpaca farm to learn how local women take the fur from the animal, turning it into a finished product, all by hand. Pictured are 2 students getting a lesson from the local workers. At the Sacred Valley, students learned about the empire's advancing engineering, urban planning, and spiritual beliefs. PZAC offered a terraced mountainside that seemed to climb to the clouds. We saw agricultural ingenuity with stone pathways winding past ceremonial sites and stunning panoramic views. At Machu Picchu, the students explored stone corridors, temples, and terraces, revealing how history, culture, and tradition are woven into daily life, a true treasure from the past. And I leave you with a group photo with our amazing Peru guides. Thank you.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you for
What an
sharing.
opportunity.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, fantastic.
We stand for any questions if you have any questions.
I have to tell you, I can't wait. I'm a non-traditional grad school student, and we get to take our international trip for my Rockhurst Executive MBA in May. I can't wait to come back with my photos, and I'm gonna come find you and show them. But those of us who've had that opportunity to travel abroad, we know how amazing that experience is. And for our students to get that opportunity, that's amazing. Thank you for being a part of that, because I'm sure that took some work. It was a lot of work. It took some work.
Yeah. It really is life-changing to travel internationally, and especially to developing countries.
Yeah.
So thanks for doing that. And we have more I know we have more trips that you're looking at in the future, so we look forward to those as well.
Yes.
Okay. That is
Such an
awesome.
amazing experience for our students. Thank you.
All right. Thank you both. Do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
Was he
moved.
done?
Second.
Oh, were you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't jump the gun there. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
you.
carries. Thank you again.
Great job.
Next, we have the Vice President of Finance and Operations report with Dr. Schulte.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and what a month. From the Vice President of Finance and Operations Office, I am happy to be here in front of you tonight with all my hair, given the month we had. As President Mosher noted earlier, as I'm laying in bed listening to the thunder July 17th at 3:15 in the morning, I get a text from my Director of Facilities, Debbie Fangman, with a video showing math and science lower level door with water flooding in. President Mosher shared it at Convocation. It's unreal. If you haven't seen it, the amount of water pouring in is unbelievable. And as Chair Isnard noted, if any of you weren't able to walk through the space, to go in there on July 17th or 18th, and now look, here we are a month later and open for students to be in that space, was unbelievable. I have to give credit as well, the partnership with ServiceMaster, like Dr. Mosher said, but really behind the scenes, the work that was done in the leadership by President Mosher by directing us to pull together, Vice President Pope, Dean Bohm, Dean Kramer, Neela Bruner, Debbie Fangman, we all came together and looked at it in relation to emergency response, because one piece was, yes, directive from the president, we must be open by this date, but the other side to that was, what if we're not? So coming together, making a plan, I've never seen a group come together in cohesion and put every personal perspective behind them and say, how do we do this for our students? How do we do it for the school? So again, I have to give kudos to that team. Unbelievable work that they did. In other areas in my office during that time, under the leadership of the controller, our audit process is well underway. On September 8th through the 19th, our audit partners will be out here. So again, we continue that work in relation to our audit, because work doesn't stop despite the fact that sometimes things go awry and water comes through the doors. As noted earlier, faculty negotiations, I'm a part of that. The financial assessment pending budget will be a key piece of what we do in the conversations we have with faculty as we move forward. We had a great conversation today. I look forward to those conversations with them moving forward. Food service opened up Monday morning here on campus, Blue Devil Cafe and Brew Devil Coffee Shop. Excited to see the excitement on campus continue to draw people into that space as well. In addition to the food service on campus, we may have noted last month, I cannot remember, we're finalizing our pouring rights agreement on campus. Pouring rights is soda, which also contains vending. As you walk around campus, you may notice new vending and soda machines on campus. With that new partnership, this will yield to the college greater than $100,000 over a 5-year window in our partnership with them. So that is all money coming back to putting into the school for our students and their learning experience through this partnership with this vendor as well. So again, work is being done on so many different levels. Under the direction of our CHRO, as you'll note in your report, 40 different new hires coming in, faculty included in that, bringing in faculty, making sure we're attracting, retaining qualified faculty in our classrooms. Excited to see that. In addition to doing all that with a very small team, new employee orientation trainings continue, new supervisory trainings continue. They hosted the 3rd annual Glow and Learning Opportunity Workshop. So again, despite the fact that there's so many other things going on, they continue to work on educating our staff and our faculty in relation to putting the best service forward that we can. As noted earlier, welcome H.A. Okoye as our new CIO. Under H.A.'s leadership, we will continue with the Ellucian preparation for transitioning colleague to SaaS in the cloud. In addition to that, the work that's being done, one of the key pieces is looking at developing standard operating procedures for that. So not only are we looking at the transition to the cloud, but really looking at how are we utilizing this tool in all of the areas across campus through those leaders that are a part of our leadership team, and making sure we create a standard operating procedure so we have continuity and consistency if there's a transition in any leadership or anyone in any position. How are we using it? Why are we using it? How are we using it effectively? In the area of college police leadership and succession planning, Sergeant Bailey and Sergeant Fryer attended the FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association supervisory and disciplinary training held July 7th through the 11th. It enhances the department's leadership capabilities and reinforces professional standards. So again, as I work with the various leadership in my area, giving opportunities for those to grow and learn and lead as they are here at KCKCC. And finally, in the Wellness Center and Fitness Center is now fully staffed and has returned to regular hours, 5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. In addition to that, Fitness on Demand is in place and is also mobile. So our students have the ability to go into the workout facility, use the room, do yoga, do other opportunities that is live, our ability to use it with virtual on the TV, but they can also take it on their phone and do it from their dorm room as well if needed. So again, with an emphasis and a focus on our students' experience here on campus and service that we're providing from our area, we continue to do all we can to make this the best place it can be for those students. With that concludes my report for tonight. I will entertain any questions.
When have you slept?
Very little. Yes, I try, but I will tell you, yeah, there's been a lot going on, but the leadership around me and in partnership with me has made this doable. It's one of those where you could look at it and go, wow, this is daunting. It wasn't all me, and that's the best part of this, is that it's the consistency and the leadership that's made this possible.
Well, hopefully it's calming down a little bit now, and you can remove the cot from your office. You don't have to sleep here anymore.
Yes, I do hope so. Yes, so.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from the board?
I will tell you that when I heard the storms the other night, I envisioned that water coming through that door. I think every time I hear the rain, I'm like, I'm just waiting on a picture.
We do have that sandbagged.
Yes, we
so
do.
Like,
yes, if you'll notice
area,
outside that door that we ran sandbags to make sure we're kind of mitigating and redirecting water. And as Chair Isnard and President Moser noted earlier, a long-term plan for that is something that will have to come back to this group in the future, because it can't keep flooding.
Yeah.
So.
The downstairs access to the lower level math science hallway underneath the foundation, from the building all the way over to the concrete stem wall in the center of that patio entryway has been sandbagged multiple layers high, and it's blocked off. So if any water comes in, it comes onto the concrete, it will get diverted. So it should not flood again unless it's torrential. And then we're doing some other intermediate mediation plans while we look at how to solve this permanently.
Yeah, I know when I drove past, y'all know I just live right down the street, so I drive. I'm like, are we good?
Yes.
Because you saw all the trailers in the parking lot, and I know what Service Master, I'm like, are we okay?
Yeah. They've been a great partner, and and again, unbelievable work done by so many people to say it was all of 1 month and 2 days ago that this happened. If you had a moment to walk down there and see what's done compared to the photos, unreal.
For those of you that enjoy listening to the rain when you sleep at night, that can change.
Not anymore.
I agree. When I hear thunder now, it's like a different feeling for sure.
I woke up to that thunder this morning, and it was made me a little nervous. I agree.
You know, Dr. Shelter, I'm gonna close off with this, because when leadership is best tested when the crisis hits. It's easy to lead. You all know, I see some heads nod when everything is working, but when a crisis hits and things just go chaotic without warning, and you have a team that can pull together and make it happen, that is when, what's the Maya Angelou saying, you know, when people show you who they truly are, believe them, that's when people show you who they truly are. So
And-
congratulations
Yeah.
for you and the team.
And I have to extend that beyond just my team. I mean, there were so many different leaders from all walks of campus that came together that way. So that tells you you have the strength behind, in the team that you have here. So
Good
thank
job,
you.
everyone.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And I'll add, just after touring the downstairs area too, this is not something that is a result of changes we've recently made. These are design issues in this very old building that I can't say why they were made originally. Dr. Mosier's got questions about that. So we're really dealing with issues that have been there for a while. I know that Dr. Mosier is on top of this as far as having a plan to correct this so that it can't keep happening, but I would encourage this board to keep that in mind as well going forward, that it's going to be worth the investment to stop that and keep an eye on it, so that we're not, eventually your insurance, when they keep getting claims for this, will not keep you any longer. So we want to make sure that that's not an issue. So
Just had an insurance conversation.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Schulte, for that. Forget, did we already approve that report? I don't think so either. Okay. So do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have Ms. Green back for the Vice President of Marketing and Institutional Image Report. Good evening
Hello.
again.
Hello. And today we're going to talk a little bit about all the exciting things. But first, I know several of you were at the topping out ceremony. But until you stop and watch this time lapse that I'm going to show you, you don't realize the tremendous progress that has happened at 7th and State. So Randy is going to show us this time lapse video, and you can see us from beginning to now. And I want to start by thanking Media Services. Not only are they here to host all of our meetings, but they put together that time lapse for us while they were flooded, living in the hallways and in the classrooms as they were waiting for their permanent location. So thanks so much to the full team for that and their coverage at the topping out ceremony and all the other things that they do. It's much appreciated. In addition, our office has been very involved in finishing the annual report, and we are currently working on the 6-month strategic plan update. In addition, we are cordially inviting you. You will receive an email invitation, but we will be dedicating Bridenthal Court in the field house September 18th at 3 p.m. Cheryl will send you an invitation, but I just want to say it looks awesome, and it's looking more awesome by the day as they are putting some vinyl installations in to really amp up the home court advantage. So that will be great, and we encourage you all to come. And our athletes are so happy to be back in the field house and have started practicing there, but that will be coming. So we're also planning that event. And we are really excited as we work forward in this enrollment cycle and seeing enrollment numbers up as we really focused on our digital advertising presence and our communication, including supporting the back to school fair that just happened last week, and all of those communications. We also will go live Monday, August 25th. It'll actually probably be over the weekend late at night, but you know, Monday, August 25th, you will see the brand new website, woohoo, that our team has been working on for over 2 years. So it is in its final testing stage this week with our campus community, and we will be launching it over the weekend, and starting on Monday, it'll be there now that we have officially started this next year. And I want to thank all my team who's worked really hard to bring that to reality. And with that, I will take any questions you may have.
All right, hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the report, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we're on the home stretch here. Next, we have unfinished business. I'd invite Dr. Mosier to present a reminder of the fiscal year 2026 revenue neutral rate hearing.
Yes, thank you, Chair. We had some discussion around the budget. The decisions will be made in September, so we do have the 2026 revenue neutral rate hearing, and the budget hearing will take place at our next meeting at 5 o'clock here in Upper Jewel, and also it will be online, our hybrid, as normal. Let's see, 1 second, let's see. We will be submitting the notice as well, and that goes out 10 days prior to the event. So just wanting everyone to keep that on our calendars. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, under new business, I'd invite the presentation of the bank signatory resolution by Dr. Mosier.
Thank you again, Chair. Yes, in your packet we have the bank signatory resolution, and it adds Becky Barger to the list of signers for our bank accounts.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the bank signatory resolution as presented?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, that brings us to the end of our meeting this evening, or agenda. I would call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.